Yesterday we were talking about detachment from Maya, attachment to Krishna, the mood of servant, taking shelter of internal potency. In order for us to be able to do all these things successfully, there is a very great need for spiritual absorption. The internal spiritual absorption leads to internal fulfillment. And the external success which the whole world talks about is only something the world adores. Lord has nothing to give and take with it. Lord always sees the intent in bhakti. He is not impressed with external achievements. Although somebody may achieve many things externally, the conditioned souls adore the external achievements. So often people forget the great achievements made possible by great personalities in the path of devotional service have their root in internal absorption. Like you will see when Srila Prabhupada was going in the Jaladuta, he says, my solace comes from studying Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says. And then when he was reaching the Boston harbor, he was remembering his spiritual master, that I have come to America on his order. While writing the Upadeshamrita, he is remembering Rupa Goswami. This movement is conducted under the guidance of Rupa Goswami, he writes. And when he is talking about the Harinam Sankirtan, he says, the original founder of this Harinam Sankirtan movement is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like that he says. So remembering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami Par, Bhaktan Saraswati Thakur, remembering Chaitanya Charitamrita, somebody asked him, if you are stranded in an island all alone, what would be one thing that you will want? Prabhupada said, one copy of Bhagavad Gita. He said, I can spend my life with that. So, this is Prabhupada's spiritual absorption, which led to the great expansion. So, there is one shloka in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which talks about this spiritual absorption. If this one shloka is well understood and implemented in our life, one's spiritual mental absorption can be very greatly enhanced. That's a famous verse, prayer of Brahma. Tattenu kampam susamikshamaano bhunjana yevatmakritam vipakam hritpakpapur birvidadan namaste jivetayo muktipade sadaya bhag. In the first line he says, Tattenu kampam. He is saying that this is your mercy for which I am grateful to you. So this is gratitude. Gratitude in this world people express when you have received something that you wanted from somebody. Whereas you will find in the Srimad Bhagavatam, gratitude is used in a different sense. When the 20,800 kings were released from the jail of Jarasandha, at that time they all told Lord one famous verse, Naham Nathanu Suyamo Magadendra. They are saying that, my dear Lord, we are not envious of Magadendra. Who is Magadendra? Jarasandha. Why we are not envious of him? Anugraho yad bhavato. They are saying that, it is the mercy that Jarasandha showed to us by capturing us and putting us in the jail and locking us up for years together. Such a great mercy he showed to us, they are saying. Why that mercy? If he didn't capture and bring us here, today when the jail opened, we would not have got your darshan. So he has arranged this darshan for us. Otherwise we were all proud kings in our own places, fighting with one another. We never thought of God. But now he has smashed our false ego by putting us in the jail, not giving food and water properly. Therefore we are very grateful to that. We are not envious of him, we are grateful to him, they said. So this is the way Bhagavatam teaches us. Same thing Indra also said. When Lord was speaking to Indra, Lord told him, I did Makhabhanga, Anugrihnata, he said. I have cancelled your yajna, Indra, for what? For showing you mercy. So, great devotees are grateful to Lord for smashing the false ego, for purifying the heart, or depriving them of whatever they may be possessing, by taking it away, like we say, no, Yasyaham Anugrihnami. They are grateful for that. That is Bhagavatam gratitude. Because anything that comes between us and Krishna should be removed, so that we can access his lotus feet easily. This is the first one. Tattenu kampam, gratitude. Susamikshamano, one should anticipate Krishna's mercy. For what? Kabe have bolo se dina amar, aparadha guchi, shuddhana me ruchi. This is the aspiration one should have. I am looking for the day when I will chant the holy name inoffensively, unpretentiously. When will the day come? So in this way, devotees await the Lord's mercy patiently. Samutkantha means kantha is your. So like this, you sometimes wait for the train, look for the train. Like that, one should be longing for the day when Nayanam galadashtrudharaya, vadanam gadgadarudya, kirapulakaya nichitam vapuh. Kada is that, anticipating the mercy. Thirdly, he says, bhunjana eva atmakritam, he is saying. That means a devotee is ready to tolerate the reversals that come in the path of devotional life. Tolerate the reversals externally, remain cheerful internally, and stay fixed in bhakti. These three things devotee does. Ready to tolerate any kind of, Pandavas tolerated reversal after reversal. Prahlad tolerated reversal after reversal. So tolerate. One should be ready to tolerate like a tree. Bhunjana. And Atmakritam means one doesn't say, Lord is sending me troubles, I will tolerate. No. The troubles are coming due to my own misuse of free will. Because Lord is not responsible for my problems. I create problems by my mischief. This is Atmakritam Vipakam. Like Prahlad Maharaj said, Trastosmyaham grapada vatsaladu sahogra samsara chakra kadanat grasatam pranita baddha swakarma birushattamate ingrimulam prito pavarga sharanam vaise kadanu baddha swakarma bir, he said. Swakarma bir is same as Atmakritam Vipakam. By my own karma I am reaping the fruits. I cannot blame God or any other jiva. Even Gajendra, when he was caught by the crocodile, he first thought that his relatives, friends, wife, family will save him. Nobody could save him. They were also afraid to enter the lake because they thought another crocodile may catch our feet. They were trying to pull him with the tail behind, they couldn't help him. At that time, Gajendra, having become completely helpless, immediately one thought passed his mind. I am not suffering due to anybody's creating trouble for me. I am suffering due to my own karma, he thought. I am just getting fruits of my own karma. The moment he thought like that, the Lord gave him remembrance. The moment we stop blaming others, take the responsibility, onus of our sufferings on ourselves, immediately one can awaken one's good intelligence. Lord supplies the intelligence. So Atmakritam Vipakam means Bhunjana Eva. Atmakritam Vipakam means accepting the reversals as coming from one's own karmic reaction. And then he's saying, Hrit Vak Vapurbir. He's saying, Vidadan Namaste. That is respect. Respecting the Lord, Kaya, Vacha, Manasa. Offering obeisances not only with the body, but also with the mind, but also in words. When we totally offer obeisances without reservations. Pranipat. Pranipat means falling at the feet of the Lord with Shranagati, the Shadibida Shranagati. That is the Vidadan Namaste. So in this verse, there are 5 items we discussed. Gratitude, expecting Lord's mercy, and tolerating the reversals, accepting oneself to be the cause of the sufferings, and respecting. So all these things put together is called great formula, you can remember. G for R for respect. E, expecting mercy. And A, accepting ourselves to be the cause of the suffering. And T, tolerance. So if we can assimilate these 5 qualities and keep meditating on these 5 qualities, one can increase one's spiritual absorption very much. These are very sublime qualities. And we should try to understand these 5 qualities in relation to various pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam. And that will increase and expand our spiritual mental absorption. And the more the mind starts dwelling on these qualities, it is very easy to soften the mind, purify the mind, and approach the holy name of the Lord, Namabhasa. Because Namabhasa is a clearing stage, cleaning stage of the mind. That will happen if a devotee becomes prayerful. So we have to cross the gross distractions, sinful distractions. Then we have to cross the positive distractions of worries about devotional service and preaching and engaging and managing and all that. Then we go to the prayerful zone where this is very prominent. These qualities are very prominent in the mind of the devotee. When the prayerful zone becomes intense, like a sugar solution becoming candy and raw candy, that is the time the chanting of the holy name becomes more and more powerful. Like a fire, when it builds up, it can burn down all the impurities very fastly. So the chanting of the holy name has to be done prayerfully, and we find how Akrura prayerfully approached Vrindavan, how Uddhava prayerfully narrated the pastimes of Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We find Arjuna prayerfully wept tears, remembering all the favors that Krishna has done, gratefully remembered in the 15th chapter of the first canto. So all these things give us a clue what is prayerful attitude. Prahlad Maharaj prayerfully remembered his spiritual master when he saw Lord Narasimha. So the prayerful attitude is very vital for quality chanting, and these 5 qualities should be remembered and cherished through connecting them to various pastimes of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So today, between 7 to 7:30, all our blessed devotees, we are going to go down to the BVH. We are going to recite shloka recitation we are going to do. Because in our spiritual mental absorption, 3 things are extremely powerful. One is this type of shloka which I told you just now. The shloka recitation in proper meter, and also understanding the meaning and the character who is singing it. By adopting the mood, the prayerful mood can be enhanced very much. So that is one. Another thing, the Vaishnava songs, if we learn the meaning of the Vaishnava songs properly and we keep singing it, gradually bringing the mood in which the song is sung, it is extremely powerful. In the same manner, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, certain sections of the pastimes where there is the exchange between Lord and the devotee, those exchanges are extremely powerful for making the mind become hooked completely. Just like, for example, Maitreya remembered Vidura. When Vidura was a student of Maitreya, Maitreya cried tears remembering Vidura's good fortune. He said, Lord Krishna used to come to your home and put his lotus feet on your lap, and then he would lie down in the sofa. And Vidura would massage the feet of Lord Krishna, and Krishna would go to sleep. Who in this world can have such a good fortune? What Lakshmiji is getting in Vaikuntha, Ananta Shesh, she is massaging. When Lord Vishnu is lying, she is massaging the feet. Like that, you are massaging the feet of Lord Krishna and he is sleeping. So although you are coming as a student to hear from me, I am getting more inspiration by seeing you than you are inspired by the knowledge I am giving you, he said. So just one small instance. Recently I was reading Chaitanya Bhagavat. Advaita Acharya Prabhu was worshipping deity. And in the Bhagavatam study circle is going on in the house of Advaita Acharya Prabhu. That time Vishwarupa was making a point, because some Vaishnavas were asking a question, and Vishwarupa, elder brother of Nimai, he gave explanation. Advaita Acharya became so overwhelmed, he stopped the puja and came out running and embraced Vishwarupa. Although he is a Pancharatrika Guru who is famous for worshipping deity, but he is running and going and embracing Vishwarupa. It's just one shloka. But this one shloka got stuck in my mind for 1 week. I was remembering it. Just see, the Bhagavatam is so nectarian that even Advaita Acharya, the Acharya for Pancharatrika Vidhi, he left the puja and came running to embrace Vishwarupa. So like this, Bhagavatam has many sections like this. That kind of remembrance of specific pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam, recitation of the shlokas and recitation of the Vaishnava songs, these 3 are very powerful agents in completely spiritually absorbing our mind and making us aloof from all the material upadhis and post-position and our external connection to the external energy, all these things. So today we are going to recite the shlokas here at 7 o'clock. My request to all the blessed devotees, you can come down to BVH at 7 o'clock, okay? Thank you. Harinam Prabhu ki. Let's offer our humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like desert trees, ocean of mercy, full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha ananta koti vaishnava vrindaki Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki